Hey guys, we're about to go over the final part of the Jurassic Park Annual Comic. Now, as stated in part 1, both of these stories are unconnected with each other and take place at different points of time, with the first part taking place around 1999, and this story starting right before the events of the original Jurassic Park. This is the last comic we will go over before Return to Jurassic Park begins, and I'm happy to say that all of the issues have finally come in, and work has already begun on the series. But before we get to that story, this prequel begins with the staff of Jurassic Park getting ready for a special visitor that is stopping by to check on the island resort. Mr. Chang is a wealthy investor who has decided to tour Isla Nublar in order to see if it's worth his time and money. The very idea of bringing the man here is deeply debated within the park's control room, however, as some of the staff feels the unnecessary introduction of outside eyes on the still incomplete theme park as a bad idea. Nevertheless, Mr. Chang arrives on the island with another guest he's brought himself, his young daughter. Chang and his daughter leave the helicopter they've arrived in and begin conversation with the park staff. The control room is already on edge with the presence of the young girl, but some of them feel like they can use the situation to work in their favor after she asks to ride in one of the jeeps that travel throughout the park. As long as they keep her happy, they feel that her experience will reflect positively on their presentation. Every little kid likes dinosaurs after all, and this is Jurassic Park. A park worker takes the young girl on a tour in the jeep, but quickly discovers that a language barrier is present between the two individuals. Mr. Chang's daughter is unable to speak English, and the man is without a translator during their little tour. The wealthy investor begins his journey in one of the Ford Explorers, and his daughter in the Wrangler following closely, until she makes some noise to get her driver to stop. There they are. She's overjoyed to see the living dinosaurs of this resort. A group of Gallimimus flocks by the visitors at the beginning of the tour, and her eagerness quickly builds to see more of the ancient beasts. Unfortunately, she drops the bag she was carrying in the midst of her excitement. Meanwhile, the control room is filled with concern over where the jeep could possibly have gone to. Mr. Chang's tour is more than half over with, but the second car is a few ways back from where it should be. When they finally arrive on screen, it appears the little girl isn't having as fun of a time as she'd like, and she tries to jump out of the car and run back down the road for something her driver is unaware of. Suddenly, the loud roar of the Tyrannosaur is heard over the employees' computers. Every sonic and seismic sensor just went through the roof. They get a better visual of the dinosaur's paddock on their monitors and observe the Rex pounding its feet on the earth and ripping up trees in its mouth before crushing them in its jaws. Arguments again arise in the control room, with the fear of this animal's outburst giving the investor a negative outlook on the theme park. They can't have the main attraction of Jurassic Park causing any amount of chaos with him here and debate what cause of action should be taken to silence the animal. Another readout is appearing on screen to accompany the troubles, as a barrier breach has just been detected. No cameras are active in that part of the park, but the sensors indicate that the Triceratops are stampeding out of their pen. They quickly deduce that this is the cause of the Tyrannosaur's commotion, and believe the other animals may start their own reactions as well. While this is happening, Chang's daughter is finally able to get away from her guide and starts running down the road and away from the visitor center. He's caught up in his seatbelt, but promises to get her back to the jeep soon. A new visual is brought on screen from the Tyrannosaur paddock. Now the animal seems to be brushing against the electric fence. The dinosaur lumbers towards a large tree inside of its enclosure, and pushes it directly against the fence, causing an outpour of electrical damage, severing the wires keeping the creature inside. A fire has started inside of the Rex's territory, and the creature looks out at the newly opened hole it's made in its barrier. Finally, the guide is able to leave his car and rush towards the young girl running frantically down the road. Control is able to get the cameras back online in the Rex paddock, but can't find their star attraction. The sensors are collating after the heavy electrical surge they just took, but they currently can't tell which side of the fence the animal is on. Today is an absolute mess. They've got a herd of Triceratops in full stampede, with the Tyrannosaur also out of containment and going berserk. These animals might even be on the tour road, and Mr. Chang's daughter just went out of camera range for them to track. They have no choice but to detain the wealthy investor a bit longer in the visitor center and scramble in an attempt to get everything back under control. Meanwhile, in the park itself, the daughter's guide is getting an eyeful of something he didn't expect to see. Witnessing the stampeding trikes, the man wonders what on earth is going inside of Jurassic Park today. He turns his attention from the animals and focuses on his mission to relocate the little girl. All the while, the Tyrannosaur is stomping around the island. It's searching for something and making a loud noise about not being able to find it. The young girl finally finds the bag she's dropped, but hears the sound of bushes rustling very near her. The Tyrannosaur is walking, moving through the underbrush before it makes its decision. And visual is finally brought back on the Rex enclosure. He's just decided to go back into the fence, and the tour guide presents himself to the girl after wading through the park's jungle. He finally sees what she was upset about and tells her to follow him back to the visitor center before they both get into trouble. Even though the Rex still seems like it's trying to find something, the Triceratops herd has slowly stopped their stampede and decided to move away from the tour road. Luckily, the tour guide has just checked into the heliport. It seems like it's just another day in Jurassic Park. At the control room, orders repair crews to go out into the park and fix those fences ASAP, and find out exactly what made that T-Rex go crazy in the first place. This is by far the most child-friendly Jurassic Park side story I think I've covered on the channel, and it's actually a breath of fresh air, to be honest. I find it rather innocent and fun that the little girl's pet ferret inside of the bag she'd lost was causing the T-Rex to go into such a berserk frenzy that it threw a tree against the side of its fence before walking out, and it's kind of cool to finally see other dinosaurs besides raptors in the Jurassic Park comics. This isn't the only time we will get to see the other residents of Nublar, however, as the Return to Jurassic Park series is about to begin. This Friday should be the first episode in the sequel to the Jurassic Park Raptor storyline, and I'm hoping you'll all be waiting to check it out. Alan Grant, Ellie Sattler, Robert Muldoon, and Ian Malcolm are all coming back to the first issue, and Hammond is going to be there as well. As for this part of the annual story, I rather enjoyed it and found it to be a fun detraction from the usual dark themes we get in these books. Now, I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video. I really appreciate all the continued support and hope you've enjoyed today's content. None of this could be possible without you, and it's really amazing how far this channel has come in just 8 months. I'll see you all in the next video, guys, and as always, take it easy.